Good morning, students. Welcome to BSc 2 4th semester zoology class. Today I am going to discuss on the histology of small intestine. Small intestine. So the small intestine is the longest part of the digestive tract, measuring over 6 meter, which extends from the pyloric stomach to the colon. It consists of three portions: an upper duodenum about 25 centimeter in length, a middle jejunum about 2.5 meter, and a lower ileum about 3.5 meter. Though they have certain distinctive features which are similar in structure, characterized by villi and intestinal glands, functionally the small intestine is the principal site for the digestion of food and for absorption of the products of digestion. So the intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. It starts from pyloric region of the stomach and ends in colon. So around 6 meter in length. It has three distinctive parts. Structurally they are a little bit different. The first part is duodenum, second part is the jejunum, and third part is ileum. Ileum connects to the large intestine. So duodenum, villi are present in this small intestine. Small intestine is the part where actually 80% of the food, digested food, is absorbed. For the absorption of food, the surface area must be extended. To compensate that, to fulfill that, the surface epithelium has microvilli, and the villi part is more in the duodenal region, less in jejunum, and still less in lower ileum. So duodenum part is the main part where the food is mixed with intestinal juice and bile juice. Okay. So the small intestine is the principal site for the digestion of food and for absorption of the products of the digestion. Wall of the intestine is composed of 4 distinct layers or coats. We have already studied the 4 layers present in the wall of stomach. Same type of layers are also present in the small intestine. How many layers? 4 layers. They are from outside are the serosa, first layer. Second one is muscularis externa. Third one is submucosa, and fourth one is mucosa. Serosa part. Look here. So this is the outermost layer, serosa. This serosa layer is made up of squamous epithelium, simple squamous epithelium. Underneath the serosa layer, muscularis externa is there. Muscularis externa. The muscularis externa is having longitudinal smooth muscles. These are longitudinal smooth muscles. And next to this one is circular smooth muscles. So longitudinal outside, internally what are present? Circular muscles are present. Okay. So serosa forms outer thin layer made up of connective tissue and squamous epithelium. Second layer is muscularis externa. It consists of outer longitudinal and inner circular fibers. Longitudinal muscle layer is comparatively thinner. Contraction of the muscularis helps to mix the food with the digestive secretions and propel it through the tract. It contains plexus of autonomic nerves called Auerbach's flexus, which control the intestinal motility. Intestinal motility is controlled by Auerbach's flexus, nerve flexus. Clear? This nerve flexus is present in the muscularis externa. So muscularis externa is made up of smooth muscles, and they are arranged in two patterns. The outer layer is longitudinal muscles, inner layer is circular muscles. Okay. Submucosa, next part is submucosa. It consists of a dense connective tissue and localized sites that contain aggregates of adipose cells. It also contains lymphatic blood vessels and submucosal flexus of nerves and ganglion cells. A remarkable feature in the duodenum is the presence of Brunner's glands. Brunner's glands secrete alkaline mucus. However, these are absent in jejunum and ileum. So Brunner's glands are present only in the duodenal region. These are also intestinal glands. They mainly secrete alkaline mucus, because you know it. Duodenum is the first part which receives food from the stomach. The food which is present in the stomach is in a acidic medium. That acidic medium comes to first the duodenum part of the small intestine. So this is a place where the acidic medium is converted into alkaline medium. For that sake, the secretions that are added in the duodenal region are highly alkaline. They are alkaline, so that the food is converted into alkaline medium, alkaline food. Therefore, there the Brunner's glands are present. Brunner's glands are the intestinal glands. They are present only in the duodenal region. However, they are absent in the jejunum and ileum. So this is the submucosal part. This has connective tissue, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, and these are the glands, Brunner's glands, submucosa. Okay, so nerve flexus is also there. Here you can see, this is colored photograph. Serosa layer, muscularis externa. These are longitudinal muscles and these are circular muscles. And this is submucosa. So glands in this submucosa, these are the glands. Blood vessels are there. Lymphatic vesicles are there. Okay. Submucosa. A remarkable feature in the duodenum is the presence of Brunner's glands. Okay, next part is mucosa layer. So it comprises of three layers: muscularis mucosa, lamina propria, and surface epithelium. So first let us discuss the muscularis mucosa. It consists of two main layers of smooth muscle cells, an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layer. Strands of smooth muscle cells extend from the muscularis mucosa into the lamina propria of the villi. So these muscles may extend into the lamina propria. This is lamina propria. Can you see here? These are villi. These are what? Villi. Into the villi, at the center of the villi, core of the villus is there. Core of the villus is called lamina propria. Into the lamina propria, some muscles may enter, muscle cells. So strands of smooth muscle cells extend from the muscularis mucosa into the lamina propria of the villi. Next, lamina propria. It includes a highly cellular connective tissue which surrounds the glands and contains numerous cells of the immune system. Numerous cells of the immune system. Immune system is made up of lymphocytes, plasma cells, then macrophages. They are all present there. They are meant for what? They are meant for killing the foreign bodies that are entering the alimentary canal through food. So particularly in villi, the lamina propria also contains numerous nodules of lymphatic tissue, that is GALT, gut associated lymphoid tissue. GALT means gut associated lymphoid tissue. So lymphoid tissue is present in the lamina propria, which helps in controlling, in defending the body against foreign bodies, and this is called Peyer's patches. Peyer's patches. Next, epithelium, surface epithelium. The layer of simple epithelium constitutes the actual epithelium of the intestine. It also covers the finger-like villi and dips into the intestinal glands. See, the surface epithelium also extends to the intestinal glands. So villi, let us discuss the structure of villi. Intestinal villi are local elevations of the mucosa, 0.4 to 1 mm tall. Each villus is minute projection above the level of the general surface. It consists of a central core connective tissue covered by a single layer of columnar epithelium, which contain many mucus secreting goblet cells. So these are villi. So they are extending into the lumen of the intestine from the general surface. They are about 0.4 to 1 mm in length. They are leaf-like or finger-like projections into the lumen of the intestine. They are surrounded by, they are lined by surface epithelium. Can you see here? This is surface epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium is there. Here and there you can see goblet cells. Can you see? These are goblet cells. Goblet cells secrete mucus. Mucus secreting cells these are. Okay. So these are goblet cells. Can you see here? Mucus secreting cells. Then the columnar cells of villi, primarily absorptive in the center of the intestinal villus, is a blind lacteal lymph vessel is present. The epithelium of the villus is absorptive in function. The food which is digested in the small intestine is being absorbed through this layer. Therefore, it is absorptive in function. And at the center of the villus, means in the core of the villus, lymph vessel is present called a lacteal. Can you see here? This green part, green tube-like structure or vessel. This is called lacteal. In this, what is flowing? Lymph is flowing. Lymph. So this is lacteal. And this is blood capillary. This one. Around the lacteal, blood capillary is there. So this is villus. Villus it is. These are all villi. Okay. So passing downward to the mucosal layer. The contraction of longitudinally oriented smooth muscles of the intestinal wall helps in emptying the lacteals into the main lymph trunk. A network of blood capillaries is found beneath the epithelium of villi. The villi are abundant in the duodenum, less abundant in the jejunum, and fewest in the ileum. Less number of villi are present in the ileum. The villi provide a velvety appearance to the intestinal surface. The main function of villi, spelling mistakes are there. Function of villi is to increase the absorptive area of the epithelium. Absorptive area of the epithelium is extended, widened by the presence of villi. So, villi, intestinal villi, yes. So these are crypts of Lieberkühn. These are called crypts of Lieberkühn. Means they are ducts in gastric glands. They are gastric glands. They may extend up to the submucosa region. Next, intestinal glands, crypts of Lieberkühn. The intestinal glands or crypts of Lieberkühn are tubular invaginations of the mucosal epithelium into the lamina propria. A gland is a simple epithelial tube that dips below the general surface. The crypts are lined by columnar epithelium continuous with the surface epithelium. The epithelium contains columnar goblet cells, secretory cells, Penneth and Argentine cells. So columnar cells, these are long and thin cells with a basal nucleus. Okay, these are long columnar cells. These are main absorptive cells of the villi, which are specialized for the transport of substances from the lumen of the intestine to the circulatory system. The luminal surface of these cells bears 2 to 3000 microvilli to increase the apical area of villus. Columnar cells are also secretory cells producing enzymes needed for the terminal digestion, lactase, maltase, sucrase, peptidase, and absorption. So these are columnar cells. These are columnar cells. You see? These are columnar cells. So goblet cells, they are found scattered throughout the gland. They secrete mucus. The mucus liberated by these glands plays a role in the lubrication of the gut contents as they pass down the intestine. The frequency of goblet cells increases from the duodenum towards the rectum. So the goblet cells are more towards the rectum because the undigested food material has to be moved to the exterior. To ease that process, they are rich in goblet cells. Secretory cells, they are concentrated in the lower portion of the intestinal crypts but are migratory. They secrete variety hormones like cholecystokinin, secretin, and gastric inhibitory peptide. These hormones increase pancreatic and gallbladder activity and inhibit gastric secretory function and motility. So these are secretory cells. So secretory cells are at the basal region. Okay. Pennant cells. They are the pyramidal cells found near the bottom of the crypt. They are believed to secrete lysozyme, which kills the bacteria and also regulate flora of the small intestine. Argentophin cells. The intestinal gland contains occasional argentophin cells which produce vasoconstrictor hormone serotonin. Serotonin hormone is secreted by the argentophin cells. So Pennant cells, these are Pennant cells, can see. So some details are not clearly given in this diagram. These are enteroendocrine cells, hormone secreting cells. Means secretory cells they are. Gastrin hormone is secreted by this one. So that's about the histological structure of the small intestine. Coming to talk about the functions of small intestine. Number one, it causes peristaltic movement to move the food forward. Means downward. Can you see? See the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement of the gut is caused by peristaltic movement is caused by the contraction and relaxation of the muscles present in the muscularis externa, muscularis interna. Second one is secretion is an important function of small intestine. Intestinal juice and hormones are secreted. Okay, complete digestion of proteins, carbohydrates and lipids and their absorption takes place in the small intestine. Small intestine is the main part where the food is digested and absorbed. Next, lymph nodes and Peyer's patches in the intestinal mucosa divorce the microorganisms which have escaped the bacterial action of HCl in the stomach and provide against the infection. So these are the functions of small intestine. So assignments on this topic. What are villi? Second one, what are crypts of Lieberkühn? Third one, draw a neat label diagram of TS of mammalian intestine. Write any two functions of small intestine. So these are the assignments on this topic. Thank you.